and things out here that you need to know and be aware of that are communicating to you, but they don't have any spoken words. Okay? So we're going to start on the far right of the board here. And I got 3 signs that all say Main Street, exit 5. But each sign is communicating something different to me. Do you guys have any idea what this sign is communicating to me?
That you're about, if you take that exit, you'll be on exit 5 Main Street. Right?
Okay. But the thing it's communicating to me, it's not telling me, is the number 5 on the top right means the exit is on the right side of the road.
Oh.
The exit 5 on the top left is communicating me to the exit is on the left side of the road. The Main Street exit 5, this exit is on the right side of the road, but it says exit only under it. That tells me that that lane might be a 3-lane road, and exit 5 is on the right, and that lane ends in that exit. It will not continue on any farther. I know yesterday we did the speed limit signs with you, or yesterday I believe, but I want to go over for this presentation again. We're traveling in this direction, and we're at 65 miles an hour. We come up to a speed zone sign and then a 45 sign. By law, there's always 2 signs showing when the speed will decrease. It could say 45 and 45. It could say speed zone ahead 45. Okay? As you pass this sign, you need to start slowing down because you need to be at 45 at position D, just before the sign. You need to be down to that speed. As I go through the 45 zone and I come into a 55 zone, you'll see the sign, but you cannot legally do 55 until you're completely past the sign or spot J. You guys recognize this symbol? Have you seen it out there?
Yeah, it's usually by like bridges and stuff to indicate that there is a obstacle on one side or the other.
Okay, you're right in the ballpark. Very good. You will find that sign on bridge abutments and end of guardrails. As you can see, there's one on the end of this guardrail that I drew over here. What is this sign communicating to me?
That I need to stay to the left side.
Why do I have to stay to the left side?
Because whatever is along the road is on the right.
Okay. These lines are pointing down to the left. So that's the side of the road I need to be on, or the side of that sign to be on the road. Okay? But you might come up to a sign like this. This is where the roadway would split, when there's roadway on one side, roadway on the other. There's probably an abutment or an open field here, one or the other. Now, when I go into a construction zone, I might see a pillar, plastic pillar, or a pylon that they move. The lines on that are also indicating the same thing. And in a construction zone, it will be orange and black and be telling me that's the side I need to be driving on. They also may have a structure up like this, a barrier up like that. That means the roadway, again, is to the left because that's where the lines are pointing. I got 2 different arrows we'll see out there, up there on the road. What is this arrow telling me?
The road's headed to the left.
It's a one-way.
It could be a one-way. It could be telling me the direction of travel. It also could be telling me this is where one road ends and another begins, and that's the direction you need to go. This is called a chevron sign. What's this telling me, and where do I see it?
Means there's gonna
First
be
of all, where do I see it?
there's gonna be a turn ahead to veering to the left.
You'll
All right,
see
you're going to see these basically on exit ramps.
Oh.
Okay?
that or sharp curves.
It's telling you the direction of travel, but it's also telling you there's a grade change. It may be a little change, it may be a large change, but there'll be a grade change at that point. Okay? So that's a big heads up to you when you're driving and you're entering an exit. Have you seen the construction signs? This is a light up sign, pardon my rough drawing. They're orange. Okay, and they're a message sign, a message board. They'll put messages out there. But in New York State, they will put this up and put a white X in each corner. Any idea what they're communicating to you? They're stone. No. Oh, okay. What they're communicating is a construction zone ahead. Instead of blatantly just putting it out there, they're telling you there's a construction zone ahead that you need to start preparing for. On top, I got my railroad tracks, okay? Your train is traveling in this direction. Your truck broke down right on the tracks.
Oh, shit.
Can't move, can't go, and here comes the train. It's gonna hit the truck. My question to you, you have direction A, B, C, D, E, or F. Which way do you get out and run?
Probably B or A.
I'd say B.
All right, so you think B or A? Anybody else want to venture an idea?
B or C?
No, C.
It's closer to
the
the
B or
driver's
D?
side, though. B or
Alright.
C. Whatever's closest.
All right,
to
we
your
were
door.
half right on the first answer. We're actually going to run towards A or F. We want to run at a 30-degree angle towards the train because all the debris is going to go these other directions, B, C, D, and E. When it gets hit and scatters that debris, we don't want to be hit by the debris. So the best possible angle is 30 degrees towards the train or just plain towards the train, depending on the ground in the background. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about delineators. Yay! Gary likes the commentaries. It's our favorite part. All right? New York State has done something right for a change. Federal guidelines along the interstate say that each interstate must mark the outer boundary of the road bed with a delineator. The delineators in most states are a single pole with a little square on top of it, and if it's on the right side of the road, it'll be white for the white lines over there, and if it's on the left side of the road, it'll be yellow. The farthest left you can travel is to the yellow. Okay? Now, New York State's gone a step farther with the delineators and giving you messages. Okay? So I'm traveling in this direction. Okay? And I see a white delineator, a single post with a single white sign on it. That single delineator is telling me it's fairly level beyond that out there. That's nice to know if I had to bail off the road that I know it's fairly level. If I see a sign with two white squares on it, that tells me that there's an embankment there, either up or down. So that would be important to know if I had to bail off the road or use side of the road over there for recovery or to get out of the way. As I come up to an exit ramp, I'll see a single white delineator with a black line through it. That's an indication of a lane being entered or added to the roadway. At this point, it's exiting the roadway, and then I go up the ramp, and there's an embankment, so there's a line through the bottom one of the two, line through the bottom one of the two. The left side will not have a line through it because they're indicating which way the lane is going here for the entrance and exit to the traffic. On the left side of the road, a single delineator, yellow one, means it's fairly level out there. If I have two, there's an embankment. We got our little cut-throughs here where Smokey Bear likes to sit and shoot his radar, or DOT workers cross across the highway. There's a single one with a line through it. That means they're going to use the shoulder to go in and out of there instead of having a regular traffic lane. But they're letting you know that's a place where vehicles will enter and exit. All right? Now, I see a yellow one way out here or way out here. Either side of the roadway, well off the road embedded. That has a meaning itself. If it's outside the regular delineators, it means it's a drainage ditch or a drainage hole or a culvert. Again, probably a spot if I have to go off the road I don't want to go into. So it's giving me a heads up. Over here you might see this delineator. It's kind of hard. I didn't draw it too well. It looks like an upside down 7 on a green field. That tells me that there's a drainage culvert coming out from underneath the highway there. It may be on a hillside, maybe next to a river, but it's where they've drained drainage from one side of the road under it coming out the other side. On your highway, we got our regular passing lanes, and then you got the little dots. The little dots indicate where a lane is either entering or exiting that travel area. That is where you should mix, mash, get on, or get off. Okay? We're going to go down here to the guardrail now and finish up with the delineators because there's more. We got our directional signs, so that means we're traveling in this direction a lot. The first delineator on a guardrail will be a green one with a black line through it. That indicates the start of a section of guardrail. And then you'll have a single, double, all the way the length of the guardrail. At the last one will be a solid green delineator. That indicates the end of the guardrail. If you are driving along and there's a Jersey wall on the other side of this, all you're going to see are single delineators along there. Or you're going down the highway and there's a Jersey wall dividing the traffic, you're also going to only see a single delineator color-coded to the side of the road that you're looking at. These are pretty handy at night. I used to use them quite a bit when I drove north of Syracuse to Watertown in the winter because the snow plows wouldn't have been out yet. I didn't see any lines on the road. I was the only happy idiot out there trucking at the time. And I couldn't see the road, so I would put myself right between these delineators, and I knew I was dead center going down the road. I was in a good place. You could also use these as a gauge to stay in your lane. They're also reflective. They stand about 4 or 5 feet off the ground, depending on how they're placed. Questions, comments, or concerns? Stuff you didn't know was going on, huh?
Nope.
Like I say, New York State is the only one that gets real detail with these delineators. You cross south out of New York here into Pennsylvania on Interstate 81, and their delineators are just a white pole with a reflective marker. On the yellow side would be a yellow pole with a reflective marker. They're made of plastic, and half of them have been run over, and they're just little splinters sticking out of the ground. Now, a lot of your state routes in New York also will use these delineators, but they use very small reflectors on a pole. A reflector like you probably put on the back of your bicycle. Very small. So you'll see those. The other thing New York State's been known to do is on this guardrail, on the legs of the guardrail, On this side, they'll put a white piece of reflective tape every so often, meaning that needs to be on my right, farthest to the right I can go. But if I'm traveling back in this direction, you'll see a yellow one on that side of the pole, telling me that's the farthest to the left I can go as I'm traveling in that direction. So these delineators are out here to mark the absolute outside of the roadbed, let you know where the gravel stops and the dirt starts, and it's probably an unsafe or rough area to be in. Questions, comments, or concerns? Nobody ever told you most of this stuff, did they?
Nope.
This is information that's out there that's not very well communicated. And it's good for you to know. You never know what piece here now is going to come into play and help you. The delineators is huge as you travel up and down the roadways to help keep you at place at night in the fog and the snow, to give you an idea where you're at on the roadway. Thank you, Jerry.